my original thoughts of masculinity was like being tough and having it together, being disciplined, getting shit done, being the provider, being stoic. Non-reactionary, because when you react, you're weak. And especially growing up in a group where like people bullied me, like if you react, then they'll chew on you more.
Right.
And so I think I developed a really complicated complex, whereas like my heart wanted to be vulnerable and to connect because I knew I'd be fucked for life and I wouldn't find the love of my life if I didn't know how to open up my heart. But then there's this other part of me that was like, oh, you're a bitch.
On today's show, we have our good friends Stephanie Tran and Kevin Do.
Stephanie Tran is co-founder of Relating Between the Lines, the life-changing communication course that both of us took and the inspiration for this podcast.
Kevin happened to be facilitator for both Jamie and I in that course. Also, Steph and Kevin are married.
In today's episode, we talk about healthy masculinity, being novices at having fun, and navigating situations where pursuing your dreams might hurt your partner.
Let's get into it. That's actually one thing that I wanted to talk about today also, because we've had conversations about
Let's do it.
your kind of like, your arc going from like someone who's like also super like perfectionistic, like hustle culture, like full send, 110% energy all the time. And I think I share a common journey of like coming from a similar place and now wanting to discover something that's a little more, like the question I keep asking myself is how do I keep like working hard, but like in a way that's like self-compassionate. Yeah, so I think like one thing that would be interesting, because I don't think we've done really the full arc before, but like, yeah, I'm sure KDo's probably watched it happen.
Let's
so
go.
I'm so curious.
Well, the full arc, meaning like
where you started.
Yeah.
Like,
me.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus. We have the spotlight
You're like,
on
oh,
me.
it's like, about me.
yeah.
Yeah, we could do that.
Yeah, but I'm curious. Like
We can talk about arcs.
Yeah, like
I mean, your arc is pretty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'd be interesting to hear about like arcs and how you find fulfillment over time.
yeah,
Yeah,
different ways
Yeah.
that we have. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I do want to spotlight Steph on kicking us off, just like where you started, and it feels like the way that I've never met this version of Steph. So the Steph.
LOL, you can comment on that.
So yeah, I'm curious like what that was like, and then maybe we can draw that arc for you.
Sure. Okay. So it all started in college. Actually, KDo and I were pre-meds in college. I don't know if you guys knew that, but we were
Really?
pre-med.
I didn't know.
Yeah, we were both pre-med.
Supposed to be
We both
doctors.
studied bio at UCI. We were supposed to be doctors. But yeah, during college, I decided like, I'm not going to do this profession anymore. I felt like I was doing it because of my parents. And so I decided to pivot. And then I went into educational consulting, which is another way to say coaching really wealthy clients in Silicon Valley and like their kids. So I was actually around here. So around like the Bay, so in Palo Alto, and then all the way up towards like Burlingame. So I did a lot of coaching. I think that's where I actually learned a lot of like white glove, like customer service. Like you're working with like really wealthy people, their kids. And I feel like you have to learn how to speak really well and how to sell really well. And so that's what I did for a little bit. And then after that, I quit because it was a toxic work environment. And then I actually went on what I call my first soul searching adventure at that time. So I actually traveled for a bit solo. I just didn't work. And then
How old were you? 23?
23.
Yeah. This is when we started talking.
Oh yeah, this is when we started chatting.
Because she posted on Facebook, hey, I'm going back to college. I mean, I'm going back to UCI, our college, and I'm going to speak about like
pursuing your own path.
your own path.
I don't know who the heck I thought I was at 23. like telling people like, yeah, follow your dreams, bro. Like
Well, it
meanwhile,
worked for
I just
me.
quit my job.
I saw your Facebook status and I was like, I DM'd her and I was like, wow, like I'm so inspired by that. Like, let's connect because I hate my first job too. Right? No, but it truly, purely was just a DM, just like catch up.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's actually how we became close. We met in college and we like saw each other at a party. It was pretty forgettable.
Pretty forgettable. Yeah.
But it was after that DM that we got together and we talked and
got together as in hung out together, not got together, but we hung out.
Anyways,
yeah, but we super vibed.
Super vibe.
Yeah, super vibe. No, I think like right off the bat, we always vibed. But yeah, I think we connected because we just always loved the idea of like helping people. We were both pre-med, decided against it, and so
wanted to be life coaches at 23.
Yeah, 23. I don't know what we were thinking. Yeah, so yeah, so that's when we met. We were just like chatting about job woes, and then then I landed like multiple part-time jobs at some point, and then started working for the Princeton Review as a business development manager. Yeah, so I sold everyone the like MCAT, LSAT, grad school prep programs. So you see like my like a little bit of sales background. And then while I was at the Princeton Review, that's when I felt like my life had no meaning. Like it was just kind of like, I was like, this is it. Like this is what I went to college for, to graduate, and for the rest of my life, just work.
Sell standardized testing.
Yeah, and sell tests and like talk to oh my god, the people that I talked to were just always so sad because it was really hard. You know, everyone's prepping for tests, like no one wants to do it, like everyone can't afford these like testing prep programs, and so it's just a lot of listening. But yeah, so during my time at Princeton Review, I actually tested to become a real estate agent. Yeah, so I was trying to get out. Like I was like, I need to find some other medium. And I think at that time, being financially, well off, I think was very important. So I was like, oh, what's the fastest way I could do that? Let me sell properties. Yeah. So can you imagine that, me being an agent?
Yeah. I can see being good at it. Yeah. I can also see you would not enjoy it for very long.
No, yeah. So literally, I went to, I think I signed up with a brokerage or something. And then they're like, yeah, so first week I need you to put like 150 or 200 names down and you're going to like contact every single person. I was like, damn, that's really intense for sales. So I decided not to do that at that time. I was following a fitness influencer. I know. This is so
I didn't get a call.
He probably would have been the first. But yeah, at that time I was following a fitness influencer. And I was also working on my fitness as well. And so she was looking for an assistant, and then I applied to be her assistant. And then when I worked with her, I was like, decided to pitch her, and I was like, hey, I think I could do a lot more than just be your assistant. And so we became business partners, and that was my first venture. And that's when I quit my job. So that was the premise of like
you
getting
went from
there.
Virtual assistant to co-founder.
Yeah. I think like, I don't know. I think at that time I just wanted to be around more entrepreneurial energy, but also that was like girl boss era. So that was like the era of like hustle, grind, 5 a.m., even though you have no reason to, work really hard. And like, that was like the era of Steph signed up for a triathlon without knowing how to swim era. Like that was like, it was all the things.
There's 75 hard before it became super mainstream. Y'all know that?
75 hard. Yeah, I was like one of the first people, well, not first people, like within that first group that was doing 75 hard way back when.
Wait, wow.
Yeah.
What is that?
75 hard is this thing done by this guy named Andy Frisella, and it's basically like read 10 pages a day, work out twice a day, drink a gallon of water
twice a day,
and I think that's it.
I think one
more thing, something.
Isn't like one of the exercises has to be outside as well?
Yes.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Right. And they have to be at least 45 minutes each. Yeah. And you do that for 75 days.
Yeah, straight.
And it basically like the pitch is like, if you can conquer this, like you'll be mentally strong. You can do anything.
You do for 75 days?
75 days. Yeah.
Okay.
And he would be on IG, be like, this is day 30. And he'd be like, day 75. And be like, okay, finish. Okay, I'm starting 75 hard again.
Yeah. So this is like back then, like that kind of era.
And then her co-founder got us all on it, like on the team. Because I was also on that team. She pulled me on this team. So our arcs are intertwined because going back to like wanting to be life coaches and help people, like I jumped onto her venture and helped her facilitate back in the day before we had the skills, before we even had the skills, before Norman was in the fold. Right. Now, I recruited Norman into this company, and he took one of the fitness classes because Norman was in touchy-feely, okay? And I wanted to like be in the Stanford program so bad since I was like 23, because that was literally what I thought would be like my breakthrough somehow, EQ stuff. But he was like out of my league. So I DM'd him on
Do you see how stories always start with a DM?
I DM'd him on Facebook too. And he was like, or on LinkedIn, he was like, sure, we can take a call. And so I'd have an annual call with him like once a year.
Wow.
And then finally, like when I moved to SF, I saw he was doing this event called a salon in Facebook, and I just showed up and I met him there, and he invited me to his birthday. I was like,
sick.
Okay.
Legend.
He was just like really receptive and open to me. So I was like, okay, cool. Like, what? You need help with fitness? Okay, cool. I was like, how can I like be around this energy of Norman, and also like, how can I help him?
Yeah.
So I brought it. I shared with him Steph's program, and he joined it, went through it, loved it. And that like, like atoms colliding and stuff like that, like from one thing led to another.
Yeah.
I was hoping that these two would kick it off, and they created a
So Norman took the program, and then that was summer of 2019. And then summer of 2020 was when I decided not to continue forward with that, with my first venture. That's when I was also job searching. So I don't know if I told you all about this era, but I thought I was going to be in tech for a bit. Yeah. And then, eventually got some like offer from this one. It was on AI, and like I think it was like self-driving cars too. It was something like that. Yeah. So I don't know. But yeah, that happened. And then that summer when I was exiting my first startup, I was like, oh, as a last promise to the folks that were in that program, I decided to bring Norman in to like do a program. And then that ended up being the first iteration of RBTL.
Cohort 1.
Yeah, cohort 1. So he was doing with another group, and then he brought some of it together over here, and then the rest is history. And then we met you guys a year later, 2 years later, something like that. Yeah, so.
That's wild. At some point, you transitioned from like fiery passion, got to work like really hard and like really build myself up. Like there's time pressure or other types of pressure.
Oh, okay.
To something that was more tranquil feeling.
Okay.
This is recent.
This is recent. So
like
this girl boss thing still continued on into RBTL, all up until probably last year.
Oh,
yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I thought it was a lot sooner than that, or like a lot.
Yeah, I think I started thinking about it a lot sooner, but I think the point in which things really turned was when I had vertigo. I think it was during your cohort. I don't remember.
Cohort 4?
But yeah, it was during your cohort. Yeah. So one of the cohorts we were working. I mean, I was working a lot. I wasn't eating. I was living at home with my parents actually at the time because I'd broken up with my ex. So I was temporarily living with them. So I would never see my parents, like even to eat. Like that, like my mom was concerned because I was working so much. I was working 6 days a week probably. It's better than 7, but still 6 days, working a lot. And then one day I just woke up, and then the room started spinning, and I had vertigo, and so I could barely like walk without like everything turning, and then I puked like a dozen times because I couldn't because my balance was off. So then I tried to puke, and then I tried to stand up, and then I would like go again, and then luckily my little brother's home. My little brother's an MD, and so he fulfilled my parents' dreams. So then he was like, "Yo, I think we need to take you to like urgent care." So he took me to urgent care. They couldn't figure out where the vertigo came from. So ultimately it was just like, there's nothing in my family history. There's nothing could attribute to it other than stress. So it was like stress induced vertigo. And at the same time that the vertigo happened, I lost part of my hearing. And then I also, what's that? I've had tinnitus since then. So I like hear it right
ringing.
now. Yeah. I hear ringing all the time. Yeah.
Oh, in one ear.
Yeah. In one ear. Yeah. So
you
like
can hear in the ear now.
I can't. Like I can, but it's like very.
She has
it's
a
like,
hearing aid.
I have a hearing. I have like partial hearing in this ear. Yeah, so that's when it was like actually serious. But like, get this, even after that, I was like, yeah, this is serious. And then
she's still working on it.
It's
yeah,
fine.
so I'm
Fine.
gonna let him. I'm gonna let him talk about this because I think he saw something that I couldn't at that time. But I just kept working. Like I took a few days off and I went on. I still went on the Zoom calls, except I had like I just didn't have video on.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
So obviously that was really hard for me. And this is when I was still her best friend, right? Like this is before we started dating. So like, I just felt like I was in a really hard situation where I was like, hey, I think you need a rest. I think you're burning yourself out. I think this is stupid. And it'd just be painful, you know? Like I've seen you through so many burnout episodes from your first company to this one, where you'd wake up and you wouldn't be able to like get out of bed. And it'd be so hard because you're not, and the writing's on the wall, right? But I just told her this time around, like, I do not want to have to drive you to the ER. Like, just take care of yourself. Let's slow down. It was really hard. And so like, this is kind of like a random bit, like, as part of like our love story and arc, and we're talking about career arcs, I created a rest program for her. And she loves gamified, fun things. So like for Christmas, this is after she rejected me, by the way, when I told her that I liked her.
Yeah, okay? This is after.
And so like I was like, just out of my own, this is the last biggest gift of love I could give you. And truly you just need to rest or you're gonna like die. Something's gonna happen. So I gave her a rest program and it's based on like just gamifying rest. If you knock out this streak for 90 days, you get like unlock these items and stuff like that.
A little rest starter pack. Like,
so
it was very
I made it like
sweet.
a quest.
Yeah. And then if you didn't, I don't know, if you didn't do it, then you're like forced to like take a day off of work. And that was like the scariest thing for me at the time.
Yeah.
It was actually scary for me.
Yeah. That's what it was.
It sounds ridiculous now, but.
Yeah. If you like failed at a certain thing, you would have to automatically take 2 days off of rest to recover.
Like if you didn't take enough breaks.
Right.
Yes.
Because she wasn't taking enough breaks.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And I forgot what the measures of success
were.
were.
It was basically every single day I would determine like how much battery did I have left at the end of the day. And it was like sub like 50 or something like that, then it was just like, nope.
Yeah.
Just got to take it all off. So it's like weirdly like I was being punished and the punishment was like rest weirdly. But then I just could not like I was so deep in it, like I could not wrap my head around
I
that.
even gave her 2 get out of jail cards. So you
it was like
override me to like literally work harder to launch your cohort. I was so nice. I gave her potions too. I was like, okay, if you want to use a potion, I'll buy you some food. You know, like whatever you want.
It was like to help. Yeah. It was such a catch.
But that was the gift that, you know.
This was the gift.
Pierced her heart.
No, really. Like when I received it from him, I just remember thinking like, he is literally screaming, I love you without saying it. Like literally. Like if I'm not hearing it now, I'm never going to hear it. You know? So that actually made a significant, I think it kind of like hit some part of me that I like didn't, like I wasn't allowing myself to like, I think receive. So yeah.
It's the Asian acts of service.
Hard hitting.
It strikes you at your core. You're like, wow, I didn't know I could feel it this deep. You hit that short circuit, you know, past the rationality.
I short circuited all.
Yeah, you went straight to the core.
You really did.
I love it, motherfucker. I knew all the buttons. It was like, this is the final one. I know the intention isn't to get her, but I hope she feels this.
Damn. Wow.
So that was 2020. Late 2021 to 2022.
Okay.
But then I still went ham 2022.
Yeah, because you still.
Yeah, I still went ham 2022, and then
use all the potions and all the get out of jail.
I used everything.
I
used everything and more. I wiped it out. But yeah, so that happened in 2022, and then I think the real rest journey happened after that. Like, the thing about me is I'm just really freaking slow to integrate things. It takes a while. Yeah.
Hawaii?
Yeah, so 2022, I was still working hella hard.
So I think that's why I entered the picture.
Yes, that's when you entered. So Jamie was there when technically in his cohort when I got vertigo. You entered.
Yeah, I remember seeing you at all during that cohort. Basically.
Yeah, I wasn't really.
She's dying.
I was dying. Yeah, but didn't tell anyone. So then you entered the picture in 2022, and then I don't even know if 2022 I can say it. Like, that's like kind of when it started. I think it was really tough because I think that was like when I was in the thick of trying to unlearn all these things. But then you can't really see progress really at the beginning. Like, all you're doing is just like, okay, maybe I'll just work like 5 days instead of 6 days, like, okay, like, and you're still working 10 hours a day. Okay. So it's not a significant difference, but those things did matter ultimately because it was just very, 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 very slow. And then 2023 in summer when we went to Hawaii, like he was just like, you're gonna take 3 weeks off. That was the scariest thing ever. Taking 3 weeks off, and I still worked half the time when I was there. And then eventually,
something I wanted to say about like the arc is like, Steph and I influence each other a lot. Like, by this time we were married already in 2023. So like, as like in our relationship, like I felt like I was always battling with her work, right? Like for time with that. So it was twofold. It was like, I want you to actually rest for your health. And I also want more time with you, and I want presence with you, not even just time. I don't want to just be there when you're tired at the end of the day and like you're kind of a hollow shell. So like, it was throughout all of 2022, I was still living up here in Oakland, but when I moved down, it felt realer because now we're seeing each other more in person, and like there was more of this urgency of like what I wanted, so I also helped push that. And she also wanted that, which is why it worked. Yeah,
I wanted it, but I think without him being there, I probably wouldn't have worked as hard for it. Because I think it's like, he's, because
she loves me.
Yeah, I do love him a lot. Like, I think also he, he's just like, it's so in your face. Like, when you're by yourself, no one's holding you accountable. But when your partner shows up and you can barely keep your eyes open for a movie, kind of like, you know what I mean? Like, it just kind of sucks. Or like on Friday night or Friday, after you like leave work on Friday, and there's just no energy left to do anything. Like, it just really sucks. Or like the only thing we could do is like walk around the block, like grab some food, and then I was tired and done. And so when we actually traveled the first time, I actually could barely walk like 10, 15 minutes before I was wiped. And then, it was really bad. And then I've also had, there was one morning where I woke up with such intense like hip pain because I was so sedentary. While I was building RBTL, so sedentary, I woke up, could not move. And it was so painful. I had to get it fixed by a PT like that same day.
The PT was just like, just do stretches.
Literally move.
Literally move. No, really, And
that was at the end of 2022.
And so that kickstarted my whole, I gotta work on habits. I really gotta figure this out. And so I started going to rest habits. Wellness so I started going to yoga multiple times a week. I started lifting again, and then I started taking, cold showers every day. So those habits started in 2023.
Steph loves habit stacking, by the way.
I'm a organized Virgo.
We were playing a game the other day in the car, and a question we both answered is like, what what is a quality I really like about myself? What's one of my favorite things about myself?
Okay.
And her answer was,
I'm a habit fiend.
I'm a habit.
Yeah, I'm a habit fiend.
Like a game of like comboing
it's just
streaks.
it's just streaks. It's like
That's
getting
why the
it
rest
right.
program
like,
worked. You know,
It's a really fun way to just like get better. But yeah, so then 2023 was when I actually built all these habits. And then I feel like 2024, like this year is when I actually like, I'm like, oh shit, like this is what it feels like to actually be alive and like present. So this is like this has been like multiple years in the making and all in the midst of like RBTL.
She's a tank in 2023. Like you imagine all the hit points, like she's sleeping enough.
Enough
sleep. Yoga. She's flexible. She's lifting. She's eating right happened more this year, but you know, you're really killing it.
So I wake up without anxiety now. Like I used to wake up every single day, like, and it would be like wake up like eyes open, can't like just already going. But now I can wake up and actually have a pretty slow morning. And I also quit caffeine recently too.
Amazing.
That's a big deal.
Congratulations.
Thank you. It was incredible. A pretty big fucking deal.
Like,
I was addicted to that.
So. You're like, I'm 4 months sober.
No, really. Actually, I'm 4 months sober.
Oh, no.
I actually am 4 months sober. So
amazing.
And she did it after coming back from Vietnam. Drinking Vietnamese iced coffee
every day.
That's strong.
Really strong.
That is a hard crash.
Wow. But so I feel well now.
Wait, that's so well. Okay, I have one double click question. Like when you were in Hawaii and you mentioned that like taking 3 weeks off was terrifying. What were you scared of? Was it like personal dread, or is it like my baby is going to burn while I'm not away?
It's my baby's gonna burn while I'm away. I think the thing is when you're at the beginning stages, and when you're limited in resources, like you're the main person kind of moving the train. And so it's like if I don't move the train, there's always this fear that we're not gonna be able to take advantage of like certain opportunities. Like we're not gonna be able to like move fast enough. Like I don't know. It's just your general startup founder fears, I think.
You're missing out.
It's like we could be moving along more instead of me hanging out on the beach, you know?
So I feel like you should tell him, like, how have you been able to accept like your new norm, like just being more tranquil and being okay with that?
Have I been able to accept?
You're so much more okay with it this year.
Okay. This all came together because I went to Vietnam earlier this year.
Okay.
So KDo and I traveled together at the end of last year to Asia for his sabbatical.
But that wasn't
I literally flew. We flew back to LA. We landed, and I was like, something just told me like, this is not it.
I gotta go back.
Like, I'm not done.
Buys a one-way ticket as we're on the way home from Vietnam. I'm like, damn.
I buy a one-way ticket to Vietnam. Well, because my parents are from Vietnam, and so there's a bit of like a connection that I have there. But I was just like, I need to buy a one-way ticket because I need to teach my body how to experience life without a timeline, like truly without a timeline, and like give myself the gift of like spaciousness. And so I took a one-way ticket. I was like, okay, I'm just gonna stay here until it feels right to go back. And there's no plan. There was no like, I'm gonna do it after I achieve something. It really was just, I'm gonna walk to the beach every day, and I'm gonna walk back every day, and I'm gonna sit there and I'm gonna talk to the ocean. And so that's what I did. That's literally all I did. I literally woke up, walked to the beach, talked to the ocean, and that's it. And drank a Vietnamese iced coffee. That shit was so good.
So good.
Yeah.
So she talked for a long time.
I did. I did. So then, and then so while I was there, I was just like, oh my God, so this is what it's like to not have some kind of deadline, not have to do anything, feel free in a way, like actually process things without any like pressure. I think to do it by a certain time. I have like time. I I don't know, like time trauma or time poverty, I think is what it's called. Like, I think like growing up with my dad feeling like, I mean, they're refugees from Vietnam. So there wasn't enough time in the day, I think, for them to do things. And I think I felt that, like, it's just like always go. You always have to be doing something and like always taking care of something. And it was the first time that I was just like, okay, there's nothing that I actually have to take care of. So like, let's just see how this feels. And so when I left Vietnam, I remember like begging the ocean. Like I was literally sitting at the ocean and I was just like, please, like if there's one thing like that I can take back to LA, just please help me remember what this feels like. Please don't let me forget, like, because I know when I go back to LA, I'm gonna be bombarded by people. I'm gonna, work is gonna start happening, like, and all that. And so I was just like, please don't let me forget. And so when I came back, there was a lot of intentionality also behind just like not reaching out to people, which is very like easy for me to do. A lot of like boundaries being set up, just time to actually like reintegrate back. But that was a huge reason why I feel much more at peace, is because like my body understands now what it feels like. Like it's actually embodied. It's not something that like somebody told me.
Right.
And going to nature every day. So I told KDo when we moved in together, I was like, we have to be near, like non-negotiable. We have to be near some kind of park, some kind of like nature.
Like walking distance.
So walking distance, not driving distance, walking distance. And so these things just became more like clear, like values, I think, coming out of it. So and that's why I feel okay right now.
Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't know it was like, it's all clicking a little bit.
Yeah.
As I've been kind of there. I mean, I was basically on the same journey when I was in Asia.
Yeah.
When we met up, that was also kind of the beginning of my like floating and being okay with floating.
Yeah.
And not having tracks laid out for me, not being busy making my own tracks. Yeah. I don't know if I told you guys, but my trip I was intentionally like, I'm not going to plan more than a week out in advance.
Yeah.
I'm just going to wake up and decide to do things and do them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow, that's crazy. And then I also remember that when I met up with you for the first time, this was also coming to a head when he was like, yeah, Steph is working still.
Oh yeah, you
I
were
was
still working.
working.
Yeah, man. So like it runs deep.
Yeah.
I would also say one of the other things that I think helps you settle into this new norm is also playing the long game. Like accepting the long game for RBTL versus like let's play the 10-year game versus trying to like get the results and like push so hard for it. Yeah. And that it's kind of hard too, right?
Yeah. I think there was a major switch at some point, just rethinking, I just don't want to react anymore. And I was like, I wanted to find the truth. I was like, what would it actually be like if I weren't just trying to figure out the next problem? Like, what if I just like allowed it all to burn? And
right. Like almost
nobody died, by the way, so we're good. Yeah.
Yeah. So almost like realizing your worst fears and realizing it's not actually that bad. And that once you're okay with that, everything else you're fine with, right?
Yeah. So
I really love this idea about how I think a lot of people when they're like trying to go find themselves in some capacity, they're trying to like learn something at a cognitive level. They're trying to like find the guru that will tell them the 7 words they need to know. Whereas you had it sounds like really early on, you had this clear recognition that it was not about your brain getting you information. It was like the body needs to learn.
Yes.
The body needs to learn that it's okay that if I just like wake up and like walk to the beach and hang out with the ocean and walk home, do that over and over and over again, then I'm fine.
Yeah.
And it's only by really getting to that point where at a visceral level that it's not just that you can like tell yourself a story, but like your body just is relaxed because it knows that you're able to really fully embody that, really fully live that idea of I don't need to be in like hustle mode at all times for me to be okay.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I've tried reading things. I was like, you can tell me this. You know how many times do you know how many times he's told me, like, yes, you need a rest. It just doesn't do the same thing anymore. Like,
right. Even if you rationally agree.
Yeah. Even it's logical. Yeah.
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 Yeah, like in a fundamental level, we are all animals.
Yes.
And to learn things still like at the animal level.
Yes.
And animals don't operate with, pithy tweet threads. You know, like it's you gotta go do the thing.
Yes, you have to actually practice. Yeah.
So it's been like, we'll call this the tranquil era. The tranquil era is like
what do you want to call it actually?
I don't know. What is it? I think it's like a homecoming. I think it's like homecoming. Yeah, it's been a homecoming for a minute. Yeah. Wow. Okay. Yeah. I feel like I hear my voice. I feel like I know which direction I'm trying to go. I feel like I'm not as attached to your everyday. I don't know what society tells us we should be attached to.
Well, what do you focus on these days? You know, when work is like such a smaller part of the pie.
I just take care of myself. Yeah. I told KDo like my vision for
success.
Yeah, he's like, I did it.
This whole time he's like, yeah, I think if I told him like my ideal vision for a workplace actually, if we were to continue having 8-hour days, I would require my people on my team to spend 4 of those hours taking care of their body. So you are working an 8-hour day, but you're working out, you're cooking a meal for yourself, you're taking a walk, like you're taking a nap, like that is required as part of a working day. And so that's what I do. So I spend half my working day doing these things to take care of my body so that I can actually be present.
Right, for the other 4. You're probably ironically way sharper and like more focused in those 4 hours.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Now that you've come back with this embodied understanding of rest and have these clear ideas around like what you think work should be, I mean, it would be nice if it turns out like I came back and then I do like 4 times as much work in half a number of hours and just like get all the time. But I'm guessing that there are some like real trade-offs that you've had to contend with here. So like what do those trade-offs look like and how has that felt to like struggle with that balance of like earnestly wanting to push things forward while still respecting that your body has real needs?
Yeah, you're talking about for work, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. You just have to have a longer timeline. You just will not. You just will not run as many cohorts. Like you will, you will just not do things as quickly. And I think that's been the hardest thing is feeling like we're not going fast enough, feeling like we're going too slow. And I think that's the problem with this world is like we think that things were built overnight, and that's how it feels when you look at things online. That's why I hate social media. But in actuality, like just good things, like some of them take time. You know, it's just like it's just like when you work out, it's not like you're gonna have muscles overnight. You know,
It's true.
It's the same thing. It's just like just knowing that it's gonna take longer, but you'll reach there and you'll reach there in integrity to your body, in honoring your body's processes. And I think that that's actually more important to me now than it is like, oh, hey, like we reached this milestone by like this time, look at me. I was like, that's never like, that hurt only me. Like, honestly, that didn't really do much for anybody else. Yeah.
Patience and humility.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what I'm taking away.
Yeah.
Longer timeline, and then also that's my interpretation of my journey too. Just like accepting that you have limits as a human being. You can only push so hard, and you can idealize and imagine this version of you that's a robot and can work 20-hour days with no consequences. But turns out you're not a robot.
Yeah. It turns out when you're 30 too. When you're 30, things kind of hit different. Yeah.
That's true. That's true. Wow.
Things change. Your friends get married, kids, your parents age.
Yeah.
Your body doesn't move like how it used to.
Reality.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Smacks you in the face.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, fine. That's crazy.
Yeah.
So are you now like in homecoming phase? Like I'm kind of in a similar place where I've just gotten to the point where I'm like, okay, I can start to reintegrate work. And I've similarly to you, I've definitely wanted to like slowly ease into it for fear of like immediately jerking back to my old habits.
Yeah.
Have you gone through kind of something similar, and are you also is your strategy take it slow?
Yeah. That's basically it.
Love it.
I mean, yeah. I feel like you just have to check in all the time. And KDo and I did the 10-day silent meditation retreat earlier this year. And I feel like more and more I feel like, I don't know how to say this, that's not in a woo way, but it's like I honestly feel like a lot of things are just not in my control ultimately. I feel like no matter how many plans I put together, no matter how many times I try, I'm just like, at the end of the day, it almost feels like I'm not at the wheel for a lot of these things. And so instead of trying to force, get out and like let me take the wheel, I think I've just been like, all right, I'm just gonna accept it is where it is, and like why don't I just have a little fun while I'm at it? So like it's just because we're fun. Like once you
I like that. Awesome.
Yeah, it's just like if it's not gonna go my way anyway, like I might as well just have fun while I'm at it. So
which that is like huge for you, because the way you were raised up was I have to work and get everything done first before I can have fun. It's like a very Asian family thing.
Yes. You have to earn it.
Yeah.
You don't by default deserve to have fun.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, this has come up a lot in the pod, as Kevin has been trying to figure out how to learn these patterns as well. About, what if I just allowed myself to have fun?
Yes.
Yeah.
What if that was not a guilty pleasure, but just an actual part of my life?
Yeah. Right? Well, how is that process going for you?
It was definitely rough getting there, I think. Had a lot of, for me, it's been the whole journey, right? For me, it was rooted in like this sense of like, I'm fundamentally worthless, so I need to work for my worth. And the moment I stop working, I will have no worth as a human being. And so my identity would like disintegrate. So that was what was at stake for me. And so I had to unlearn that fundamentally. And then once that clicked through a lot of therapy, I think like the next few clicks in like logic was like my muscles, like muscle memory will dictate that like I can't have fun. And then slowly you realize, okay, calm down body, like relax, you actually maybe can. And then you realize that actually because you've never had fun in your life, you're bad at having fun.
Dude, I feel that.
So hard.
I remember I went to Hawaii like years ago, and I literally was like, I recorded a podcast for myself at the time and only shared it with Steph. I was like, it was a podcast about fun. Whoa. And I was just talking shit on myself. I'm like, why is it so hard for me to have fun? Right. Why do I have to learn how to have fun?
I know.
I feel like it should just be natural, and I was judging myself so hard for it. But like, I feel like just having a strong inner critic in the way I was raised, it's just like, to what you're saying, you have to do a lot of work to change it.
It sounds dumb, but it
sounds so dumb.
It sounds so dumb. But that's what happens when you're fundamentally broken and you're missing a fundamental piece. It's dumb because you're supposed to have this piece, but sometimes you don't have it. And you're like, all right, you got to accept that. Yeah, in this sense, I'm a toddler. I've never tried to actively seek fun before. Yeah. And that's wild. So, and then that culminated in me like not immediately jumping back into job search after my last job, into carving out this like 7-month block to just travel and go to Asia, which I've never been to before. And just, every day I was like, okay, what seems not even fun, what seems interesting? Yeah. Let's try that. And just do that.
That's cool.
And
was it ever kind of like scary or uncomfortable?
Yeah. I talked in a previous episode about how I had a panic attack, like a minor panic attack.
Because when you got there, or like was this during the
third day?
Holy crap! Yeah.
Like when I really like settled in, this is the new reality. We're like trying something totally new. The body was like, "What the fuck are you doing?" Is what it sounded like. And then I had to like the whole episode lasted maybe like 3 minutes. But the ultimate, what calmed me down was like rooting in that trust in myself that like things will be okay. There's a longer time horizon here. It's okay for you to like be in the mess and figure things out, and also to just try and enjoy things and like embrace the challenge and all of that, and have no plan, no goal, no timeline, nothing, and float. You'll be okay. And then that really like was like, it's kind of like putting, like in high school, you make those like popsicle stick bridges and then they like test them with weights. Like that's what it felt like. Like I built in therapy a new popsicle stick bridge. That was like my conception of myself. And this was the weight being slammed on it in that moment. Yeah. And it's like, is it gonna break? And thankfully it didn't break. Yeah. So, yeah.
I love it.
So it's tough, but yeah. I've been kind of leaning into that even after I got back. We talked a bit about how like my new for fun thing has been badminton, like sports. That's also for shits and giggles. It's not going to be my full-time job. Like I'm not trying to go to the Olympics. There's no like goal. I just do it because I get to watch myself get better every week. And that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Do you ever see your muscle memory want you to be the best at it, or like to take the fun away from it and make it like a thing?
Yes. Yeah, no, I get what you mean.
And the reason why I'm asking that is because with acting, it's supposed to be just for pure fun and joy, right? Oof. But I have like this ingrained competition part of me that like takes the fun out of everything. Oof. And I've tried so hard to not compete because it's fun to a certain extent until it becomes self-destructive.
No, 100%. I've definitely had moments of like, I'm also, I guess, my own like athletic director. Like in terms of like, I pick my coaches, like how I spend my time, which facilities to go to. And I get caught sometimes being like, oh, I'm trying to min-max. Like if I'm going to spend this much time anyway, I should be getting better coaches. Like, you know, how can I find better training environments, et cetera, et cetera. And like,
see, I think that's awesome though. And I think like the art of it all is like to be able to set that up and still have that fun mentality. Like how do I continue to have fun along all this?
No, totally. I think I think I do. It's great to have the thought process. And once I set it up and the system kind of works and I have my weekly routine, I know where I'm going and I see myself improving. That's good. I think the work is in telling yourself that at some point you can chill out.
Yeah.
The system is good enough. Like, okay, sure, you could eke out another 1 or 2%, but like the goal is to ultimately have fun. We've been thoughtful about the process. It's good enough. Just enjoy it.
Yeah.
For sure.
Is where I kind of draw that line. Yeah. Yeah.
How are we all here on the scale of like comfort with fun? Like you're like, you know, a toddler.
Yeah.
You know, like I would call like myself 5. Like I'm probably like 7.
Okay.
You know.
Competitive.
No, this is not a competition. But I'm just curious, like, what are your guys' relationships with fun? And like,
I feel like it's like hard for me to put an age to it because it does, like my actual lived experience of going through like childhood was that I got way better at this and then way worse at this.
Yeah.
So like, you know, like
de-aged.
Like, I mean like, you know, like 7-year-old me, like just put me in a room with a giant pail of Lego. I'm having fun for hours.
Yeah.
Like just, I'm not like, I'm gonna be the best at Lego. It's just like, look at the thing I made. It's fun. I made it.
Yeah.
And then like at some point it started to get like way more goal oriented. I think that flip really happened for me between high school and college. Where like college, like the things I was previously doing just for fun was like, oh, this is my main pursuit now. This is not a side quest anymore. And that changed the dynamic. So like now I would say I'm at like a 3 out of 10 for like my capacity to just have fun.
Yeah.
But I definitely don't associate that with
that's what I meant.
Yeah.
Steph still has to go.
Yeah.
I not comfortable.
Like what scale 1 to 10 were you at?
I think I'm with Jamie on the 3.
Yeah. Okay, if we actually do a scale, I think I'm like a 4. Yeah. Because when I was thinking of kid, toddler, baby thing, it's like if you're an adult, then you're like a 10. That's kind of how I was thinking about
different scale.
Right.
Yeah. Shit, man.
Maybe like a 4.
Well, I'm having fun right now.
Well, I'm having fun right now.
Yeah.
Like I think, So I think it just kind of depends on what people's interests are, I guess.
Right. Yeah.
But traditionally defined as fun, I guess, like I don't find certain things fun.
Such as?
Yeah. No, okay, everyone loved going to the club and getting drunk. That was not my first idea of Like,
Fun.
super fun.
Right.
Like,
I think about it in two ways. One is like in terms of like we think about what the skill development tree would look like for fun.
Yeah.
I think the base level is like, I allow myself to pursue this?
Yeah.
And then after that's 0 to 1.
Yeah.
And then you've unlocked your job. Great.
Yeah.
Now you have skills. And then like with each of those skills are like, for you specifically, like what do you find fun? And how do you create that and seek that? Like that's the game. Like once you let yourself play the game, you're like, okay, I can have fun now. Like what do you like?
Yeah.
How, like if I gave you infinite license and infinite resources to just go and have fun, what would you do with it?
Yeah.
You know, like would it be people? Would it be an activity? Is it travel?
Yeah.
How would you like, like how would you travel? Is it a specific type of travel? Like all that stuff is for me is like undiscovered, like
Right.
music festivals,
Right.
like
It's
I don't know,
untapped.
like events. It's all just like question marks. I have no idea.
Yeah.
So that's what I mean by like fun skill development.
And when I think of all that stuff for myself, I get overwhelmed sometimes.
It's a lot, right?
And I recluse. I've noticed that a lot of my hobbies and activities are solo because having to go out there and do more community-driven hobbies, it puts like kind of like a social anxiety pressure on myself to like mingle and like there's like the social component and also like that too. And so like I like going to the gym. I like to run. But these things are more so for like health.
Right, exactly.
I don't necessarily have fun,
Yeah, it's
but I
right.
get a kick out of like optimizing that for my longevity.
Maybe that's what's fun.
Right.
But like I don't know if that's fun for me.
I don't know. I think a good like litmus test is if you could get the results without doing the thing, would you still do it? The answer
No.
is, yeah. So that's not
I could be jacked
Yeah.
when I run or lift. No.
exactly. So I think that's like
That's what the
that's
result.
probably not that much fun. Like
That's a good one.
because there's some things I would do like definitely without any benefit. Like I mean like I'm not the clearest cut one for me is when I go out to like freestyle sessions with friends to dance.
Yeah.
Because like it's been a long time since I've meaningfully gotten better. So I'm not like really doing it for like skill grinding. I'm mostly when I'm there, I'm mostly just dancing. Like I'm not really like building a social network that way. It's like not that good for fitness compared to like going to the gym or running.
Right.
And then if I'm away for it for too long, I'm always like, why did I do this again? Like it doesn't really fit into the puzzle of my life that well.
Yeah.
And then I go and have a blast. I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
because it's fun.
Yeah. Oh.
That's why I do it. Oh.
Silly us.
Yeah, I know. Just like and then for the next like 24 hours, I'm just like a happier person. Everyone's like, you seem a little different now. Like, what changed? You're like, I had fun. So like, I think that's like the helpful prompt with like, what things would you do, like independent of the like longer term benefits? It's like not a long game. It's like, what are the things that you enjoy in the moment of those things?
Yeah.
It's type 1 fun versus type 2.
Yeah.
Right. That was actually so like. For my birthday this year, I gathered a bunch of my friends together to get like feedback, which sounds like kind of I don't know stilted, but it was actually really fun.
Yeah.
And like one of the things that one of my friends said is just like I wish like we just like had more type 1 fun together. And I was like, Because like a lot of our discussions are kind of growth oriented or life planning oriented, even if they're some silly connecting stuff in there. But it's true that there isn't a whole lot of like just straight up being goofballs.
Yeah.
So yes, more type 1 fun.
Yeah.
The immediate kind. No long-term benefits, just right now.
Yeah.
It's hard to think that way.
It is.
Yeah, it is hard.
It's really hard.
Yeah, when you're type 2 fun pilled, it's type 2. I love type 2 fun. It's great, right?
Type 2 is like you have to struggle. Is that what type 2
delayed
is?
gratification.
Delayed gratification.
Yeah. That like you work, you build, and then eventually there's a payoff, and you're like, I built this sand castle. Look at it, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
Even though in the moment you're like, oh yeah, I'm gonna have buckets and like shovel and grind. But eventually you're like, look, sand castle.
Yeah.
So that's type 2 fun.
I mean, another kind of framing of it is like, when are you like a little bit of a degenerate, where like some part of your brain goes like, oh, I don't know if this is a good idea, but another part of your brain is going like, this is great.
That's the stuff.
What are you laughing about?
No, I'm just thinking about when that happens.
Oh. When is that?
The music festivals.
Yeah.
That's literally like what it's just like. I hope I don't run into anyone here. Like that's great.
That's true. We still have to do that, by the way.
Yes.
We should.
Yeah. That'd be really fun. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I definitely think music festivals are intended to be concentrated, large, communal type
Yes.
1 fun.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like,
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like a little degen. It's like a little
Yeah.
connecty. It's people,
Yeah.
music, vibes. Yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
True.
I also feel like watching anime with friends is very type 1 fun for me.
That's
Yeah.
true. Anime is not necessarily nutritious. Although it can be.
It can be.
It can be. Not always, but it can be. Yeah. Yeah.
You mean like the pastries in Japan or something like that?
Oh no, just like there's this idea of like the content you watch being like enriching
Oh,
Yeah.
I see, I
from
see.
a knowledgeable
not enriching.
kind of place.
Yeah.
But yeah, most anime is just it's hedonistic fun. You're like, oh yes, cool explosions and fun powers and alternate universe sick.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of what I watched that. Oh, well, I do watch a lot of trash TV, so there's
Oh, yeah.
so-
That is
Yeah, I think that's
yeah,
that's
it's
clearly
just, like,
type 1 fun.
Like it just no reason to.
That's true.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people do that to recharge as well,
yeah.
which may be a side benefit of type 1 fun.
Yeah, I think it's a little different. To me, some of that's a little different. So, like, to me, it's kind of the difference between, like, stress eating and eating a meal you earnestly really like. Like, they're both, like, meeting emotional needs. And I feel like when I watch, like, truly trash TV, that is me stress eating. That is, like, stress eating content, you know?
Dude, type 1 fun. Eating. We love eating.
Yeah, type
Dude,
1.
we
love eating.
we look forward to eating all
Yeah.
the time. Yeah.
Eating's fun.
Yeah.
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 That totally counts.
Yeah, that totally counts.
It's like the build up, the elation. Oh my god, this restaurant's gonna be so good.
Yeah.
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 You bite into the thing, you're like, oh, it's so good.
Yeah.
You know?
Especially love that moment where you bite into something and it's dramatically better than you were expecting.
And you're like, wow.
You're like,
Yeah.
this looked like it was going to be like a 6 and it's like a 9. You're like, what happens? This
Yeah.
wild experience.
I love food.
A giant smile on your face, just
Yeah, I'm
like,
just thinking about food now.
what food is coming up for you when you're thinking about this right now?
Yeah, this sushi from Japan.
Hello, Toro.
Yeah, the
shit.
gyukatsu place.
It's fire.
You love that place.
I do love
You
that.
talked about
So
a ton, right?
good.
Yeah, that place is so good.
We went back there, what, 4 times?
5 times.
5 times.
5 times. Damn.
Yeah, man.
So good.
We stand Gyukatsu.
Yeah. 100%. Did I take you?
No, we took you. Or we told
No,
you to
we
go.
told you.
We told you to go.
No, he recommended a different place,
Oh,
and then we
okay,
told him,
yeah.
hey, he needs to go to this
Better.
place.
Oh, shit. Yeah. I took so many people. That's
Yeah.
how I went 5 times. I went one by myself. I went once by myself, and I was like,
Yeah.
oh, this is really good. And I would take friends that would overlap with me in Japan.
Yeah.
You also take him to that shaved ice place? Or the dessert place?
Yes. We didn't make it in.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's okay. Do you eventually go back?
We
went.
did.
We're solid.
Yeah.
Very
it was
good.
good.
Yeah.
Their menu changes.
Yeah.
I went enough times over enough amount of time to know that the menu changes.
Yeah. It was
Yeah.
it was good.
You liked it?
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah. Wait, Kevin, we should talk about your acting.
We should, yeah. It's my attempt at type 1 fun.
Right.
Turned
It's
into a
intense.
fucking type 2.
Okay.
Because motherfucker, like, it is the hardest balance of type 1 and type 2 ever. You gotta be in type 1 mindset
Right.
to flourish and to, like, not be like, have a stick up my ass. But then, like, I also am a type 2 person because I want to get better. So that's why I was asking you about badminton earlier.
Yeah.
Anyways, I've been doing it for, like, since the beginning.
Almost 2
years now.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Since
one
you're
of the
like first
reasons-
class.
Huh?
Since your first class.
That's my first class.
December.
2022 or something like that. That was her pitch for me to move down from Oakland. Because I was really starting to love my dance classes. I had done that for like a year and I was
Yeah.
like, I don't want to leave this. I feel like I'm just starting to make good friends and community up here. And then she was like, but you can move down, you know? And we were together now. So I was like, all right, fine. And she was like, well, you can take acting classes, because we were on the phone. And I was just like, oh, like, I know this sounds really dumb, but I've always kind of wanted to try. And she's like, why don't you just take classes? And
I was just like, just take one, no commitment. Like,
yeah.
And then now we're 2 years later.
Yeah.
So
2 years later. Yeah, but that's the whole arc from me getting to that point of allowing myself to do something like that. Because, like, just quick context, I've had the same career for like 8 years. I've been at the same company, same job for 8 years, and just moved up the ranks. Very stable, great company, great flexibility, but like, I don't like to change pieces in my equation unless if like something really calls for it. And so to take on acting when it sounds so like, when I got with Steph, like, I feel like I made it. Like, I don't need to do anything else in life. Like fuck it, dude. I don't need ambitions. I don't need to be rich. I am
just happy.
I am relationship and love rich. I don't need to pursue anything else and make my life more complicated and create myself like more stress and like fuck with my ego and like have to do things like this that literally puts me on the spotlight. But something in me was like, I think you gotta do it.
I love that. You're like, I do though.
You're like, oh my God. I was like, you're so stupid. Why are you doing this? You literally like making yourself look like a fool, you know? Like, it's like fellowship on steroids to the fucking infinite, because there's no lenses or anything. You literally just like hot seated every day. So anyways, acting is a very spiritual thing for me. And that's why it's like in my arc, because acting is my way to like take off more masks that I wear, or like put on different masks that I've never worn, and like learn different parts about myself. You know, like, I don't get to yell all the time. I get to be angry all the time, or I don't like, and like, it's funny because the roles I get casted for, because if I'm not smiling, I kind of have an RBF, you know?
yeah, he really does.
Like my normal face.
His
like,
normal face is
like,
pretty.
and then Steph's always like, yeah, when you take off your glasses, like,
Yeah, you just look like a fucking douchebag, like, basically. And so,
of
like,
course, I'm a fucking mullet right now. Like, I look like an asshole, but I kind of like it.
You're like, I'm kind of into it though.
But
I
that's
kinda
like,
like my look.
so like not him, right?
It's so sick.
Yeah. So it's been an interesting like learning experience for me, because like my personality is obviously like very warm, and like I care about people and stuff. And like, you know, I was like, that's like the most generic thing I could say. I care about people. And then suddenly now I'm preparing for roles where like I'm a Vietnamese gangster. You know, I told my friend that. He started cracking up. He was like, dude, if I ever see that you in theaters, like, I wouldn't be able to take you seriously. And I was like, fuck, I was so embarrassed. But I was like, I get what you mean, you know, because you have only known me this way.
Right.
But like, I've had to do that. I auditioned for hitman roles. Whoa. I auditioned for like cop roles, like detective roles.
Yeah.
And also like, yeah, so, and she knows.
Douchebag partner roles,
right? Like a guy who gets upset at his partner because she cannot financially, like, she can't pay the rent next week, and he's been jobless for a year. So my line is like, oh, so you're not willing to, I've been busting my ass trying to find a job for a year, and you won't even support me? You know, like asshole roles like that. I just had a call back like the other day for shit like that, and I was like, what? Well, like, okay, so anyways.
It's like tweaked out in one of his, you should explain the Vietnamese gangster.
Oh yeah. So that was one of the coolest things this year. I didn't get the project, but like with acting, going back to type 1 and type 2, I don't even know if I'm talking about type 1 and type 2 right correctly, but it is like the work and the joy is really in the preparation process and the audition, if you even get an audition. And when you get an audition, that's literally just, that's your moment to shine and just to show what you got, because so much goes into the casting and like all that stuff, the marketing and all that stuff. So you really have to just love doing this. And I really loved doing this project, because I said at the beginning of the year, I want in a Vietnamese story. And I saw this thing, it popped out of nowhere, and the character fit my description. It was just like, and I had to do 3 self-tapes, one where I could show my Vietnamese, which is very special to me. I brought it home to my mom and I was like, yo, like, help me say these words. And there are a bunch of like cuss words. And she was like, this is so bad. She was like, she was like, dude, go do something else. She's like, yo, I told you when you started acting, you should just be a monk on camera and teach the world lessons. I'm like, you're so lame. You're so fucking lame. My mom is so Buddhist and so like, she is awesome, but she just...
I love that.
She has no sense of humor.
Yeah.
She's like, you should be a cool monk and teach the world good stuff, like good deeds. I was like...
That's so cute.
No.
Like, how about a gangster though?
And I was like, all right, yeah, how about this? You know, like, and it was really fun because I ran the lines with her and I ran the lines with her parents and they all cracked up. Because it's like just basically saying like, oh, like all this like trash talk in Viet. So that was one tape. The other tape was, I was tweaked out because I was holding people captive, like my hostages. I think I was in a brothel and like they needed to give me my fucking money. And so like. Basically
a monk, yeah. Pretty similar.
Basically like a really like, bad monk. Like, where's my donation money? But like my eyes were like.
Yeah, it was really
like tweaked out. And so that was the second scene. Then the third scene was like a heist. I was like getting them ready to like go bomb a place. And I was really proud of these tapes, I think I did the best I could.
Yeah.
I went to like a Goodwill with her and found like retro clothing to like fit the 1980s. And yeah, that's it. I haven't heard back since. But I so enjoyed doing it because I felt so close to the dream, because the girl who was casting for this was the same girl who was doing casting for The Sympathizer, which was just featured on HBO this year. And it was the first time in history that a bunch of Vietnamese American actors were on screen with Robert Downey Jr.
Right.
And it was like huge deal. And so she casted for that project and I was like, yo, she wanted to see an audition from me. Yeah. So I was like, I'm just glad that I had the opportunity to just put my work in front of someone who may come across my face again in the future.
Yeah.
And that's it. You just kind of dream about it and like stay open to it. And I learned so much about myself in that process. Yeah. And then recently I booked a play, which is like a really, really big deal.
Massive.
I never thought I'd be doing theater, theater's so different. Every actor has a foundation in theater just because of, but the crippling fear knowing that I'm going to have to carry a play as a lead role and memorize 69 pages and being a relatively like low voice kind of person, right? Like I have to learn how to project.
Yeah.
So every day I'm doing my exercises.
Diaphragm.
Like this.
Yeah.
And all this random stuff. So, but this project is really special. It's a show called Yellowface. And it was written like...
What's the author's name again?
David Henry Hwang. So there's a book and then there's a playwright version.
Gotcha, okay.
And he wrote this play in, I think, 2007. But it's being revived this year on Broadway. And what's his name? Daniel Day Kim is playing the same role as me, which is sick. I want to go over there and watch it so I can see how he does it.
Right. Yeah.
Anyways, like the reason why this show is like so significant to me is because it examines race, it examines being Asian, being American, and like it's a comedy about mistaken racial identity. So basically, like in real life, because the author David Henry Hwang writes his autobiographical like life into this play and casts himself, like writes his character into this play. It's about like the happenings of Yellowface in the 1980s when they actually did that and cast white dudes as Asians and stuff like that and the outrage around that. But in this play, he casts a white guy as an Asian guy and loses face. And he's like, and so like it's an arc of like, oh, what happens when the Asian guy who's supposed to be the face of Asians fucks up and casts the white guy, and then like satire around that.
Oh.
Yeah, anyways, so it's been fun because I've, over the last 4 years in corporate, since like 2020 and like Black Lives Matter and like raising my consciousness more and like Stop Asian Hate, like I've had become a lot more vocal and much more knowledgeable in like my privilege and like what does it mean to be like Asian American and Asian American male. And so like all this work that I've been like examining with myself on like everything from my masculinity to like my how I express myself and my feelings, how do I assert myself and like allyship, all this stuff, and like dealing with like whiteness in America, all that fed into this play. Of any play I could have gotten, I got one that like so closely is relatable to my story. So that's why I feel like I'm able to drop into this character really easily and like channel my anger, my frustrations, my sadness into this. So I'm really excited about it. Yeah.
Dude, that's incredible.
And I'm just really grateful that I get to train for free. Like rehearsals start next week. Yeah. And we'll see what happens. Yeah. So that's the latest.
That's amazing. Yeah. I mean, from the way you're describing it, it really sounds like kind of a natural capstone of all these different elements of your life, all kind of converging in a single place.
Yes.
It's almost like the visual that comes to mind in my head is that you've been like carrying around this puzzle piece and then you just like see the puzzle, there's like a slot, you're like, oh, fits. And just like, it just is the exact right shape. You're like, whoa, like it's weird that this puzzle exists.
Yeah.
It's more like I was high and I was trying to move my puzzle piece around and it finally fit and I was like, oh shit. Oh fuck, the game is on. And then I upgraded from a 500 piece puzzle to a 5,000 piece puzzle and I'm like, shit, I'm at the next level. So that's kind of where I'm at. It's funny. And like,
It's a pretty good metaphor.
You know, when I was working with my coach, one of the things she asked me to do, my acting coach, was to write a personal monologue. Write about any monologue in your life that makes you just share a part about yourself. It's helpful, it's vulnerable, and it's personal. And so I wrote about like how just being around white people has caused me so much like anxiety and feeling like so much less than all my life. And like I wrote a whole monologue on it. I was gonna perform it in LA. I was ready to perform it. And and I haven't done that yet, but funny thing is like the place that I was supposed to perform it at was at this theater called East West Players, which is I think the most historic Asian theater on the West Coast. Whoa. And I found the audition for my current play there.
Wow.
So, you know, I kind of just believe in like, you know, the synchronicity
yeah.
like this of things bouncing around and finally like finding their place. You never would have known how it comes together, but like through my experience of this, it's like, just try to follow, well, one, listen to your coach. And then, and then two, like do stuff that like makes me feel alive. And I was kind of bashing myself initially because I was like, oh, I'm writing like really sad and like hard stuff, you know, about my life. And I don't want to portray myself continuously as like this sad and like kind of like brooding person, you know? I think it's like with that twisted relationship with fun. I want to be viewed as a fun and bright person. And so when I finally wrote all this shit, I was like, damn, dude, like, but then it ended up being fuel to this thing. So it's kind of wild how it works out. Yeah.
That's crazy.
But yeah, I've literally just shared with you like my achievements, right? But like, it's also been extremely incredibly hard too, to like fight the lateness fallacy. Like I'm starting this way too late, or like this doesn't have any meaning. I'm just wasting my money on this. Okay, like I'm raised up by a frugal Asian mom, all right? Like acting classes aren't cheap. So like I am fighting so many different fibers of resistance to like, is this worth it? But I have to constantly like, with her help, like reminding me that like my happiness and my fulfillment and my exploration and my dreams, even though they don't make sense, like they're worth it.
Yes.
And that's so hard for me to do.
Oh yeah.
It's so hard. And so I have a ton of tantrums where I'm just like, fuck it. Like, you know, I can just be a fucking monk. I'll just go meditate and do whatever my mom told me to do, and no drama. I'll just zen it out. I'll be grateful that I have a bowl of rice in front of me every day. I'll water my plants, and I'll just live a simple life. Why do I have to make my life so hard? And then I kind of just tornado through that, like constantly.
And then always end up back at, it's
I was going to say, I think it says something that you fight with it all the time.
Just all the time.
But there's this part of you that always wins. Like a part of you that craves this, you know, like even though it doesn't make rational sense, you're like, but this is what I want to be doing though. So.
And I've dug into it in therapy and stuff too, right? I was like, like, not with respect to acting, but like, it's like this kind of thing of like, why do I want to feel special or chosen or like feel like I belong? And how does this tie to like the things that I choose? And so we're just starting to finally understand stuff like that, which is like, I don't know where I'm going with this, but what I'm trying to say is like acting actually is, here you go, acting is a way for me to heal parts of my childhood where I felt imprisoned and shackled. So in high school, like a lot of fuckers would like make fun of me. Like I've had to like leave like 2 friend groups in my life in high school, and like some of my college friends as well, which has sucked. But I just felt like in high school, I had to really become more stoic because I'm obviously a person with a lot of emotions and feelings from what you all know me in present day, but it wasn't always that way. And so I was like very stoic and like angry and repressed. And I always wanted to be like the jock or the cool kid, or like have the attention and belonging and love that other kids, or what I envisioned them to have that I didn't have. And so I think like acting in my present day is an intentional choice to like let that version of myself like play, open up, feel cool, you know, within reason, and just like own myself better and like be like the bright light that I would hope to see myself to be for myself and other people. That's why I do it. Yeah. And going back to embodying it, right? Like this is the best way to embody it.
Right.
Like you, like, how many times can you shit the bed and like, you know, really bomb? And how can I still pick myself up after that and still like coach myself through that and just be like, it's okay, man. It's not the end of the world. Yeah. So that's the phase of life I'm in right now. Yeah.
I love this idea of reclaiming part of yourself from that was like suppressed when you were in high school.
Yeah.
And one thing that I'm curious about, like how this has been showing up in your acting practice, is like as you start portraying roles that don't really organically come up in your life, or like, you know, just full on yelling. For instance, I'm assuming that doesn't come up frequently in your life. But I'm wondering, like, in going through these different experiences and stretching your emotional expression boundaries, how that started to show up or open up new kind of expression opportunities in your
life.
And in life.
I'm sure Steph can give an example of that.
Yeah.
Tell us more. Oh, you want me to tell it? Okay, so he did a role. No, you should explain the role that you did so that it can give context.
So this was another cool role where my classmate, who's Vietnamese, wanted to just write a story between a brother and sister, who are Vietnamese brothers and sisters who are getting into argument because they're like, one's their business, they own a business together and they're fighting over fish sauce and shit like this. They're cussing each other out too. And this character, Ben, is just so like he cusses a lot. He has a lot of impatience and stuff like that. And this happened in like February of this year. We were doing this so we could get some footage for my reel and her reel. And Steph was noticing some changes.
Yeah, so in the scene, he's like really angry and upset at his sister. And so that week we were like moving out and I was like, dude, he seems more angry than usual. Like he's like getting upset at really minor things. Like he's like over and expressive about it. Not like I'm upset, like actually like angry about things. And I'm like, where is this coming from? This is really out of character. And I was like, oh my God, it's because of the character that he was playing.
Okay.
Yeah, it was because of the character that he was playing.
Yeah. So for me, it was a very interesting experience because like I'm not really good at expressing my anger in full blast like that because it's kind of scary. I'm not used to that. So when I was playing the character of Ben, it was really empowering because I could like learn how to do that over and over and over again. And I started to notice, it was interesting that you experienced me that way, but I think I was just going through like a little happy phase of like growth where it's like, oh, I can identify my anger quicker. Yeah. I can identify it more quickly. Like, oh, maybe my self-respect bar is a little bit higher versus like in the past, I would let things pass. I'd observe it, or like I would just handle it a little bit in an RBTL-esque way where it's a little bit more elegant, right? Mm-hmm. Not to say that expressing anger, it like isn't. I'm basically just saying like I was accessing my anger a lot faster, right. And I was getting a kick out of like letting it come out, like burst. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And obviously that has ramifications.
At my expense.
That has ramifications.
It has ramifications, yes.
You were recalibrating a little bit.
Yeah.
You're like, I have this new lever that I can pull. I didn't know I could pull before. Now let me try pulling it. This is kind of cool.
It was like the freaking red button. I kept pressing it. And I was like, oh yeah.
Yeah, from inside out.
Yeah, let's be more mad. Like, like we're late. Why? And then it goes straight to the scene. I was like, oh, like, and then she was helping me run lines for it. But then like we were running late, and I was like, fuck, I only got 2 takes for this. And then I was mad because we were late because she said we would have like 30 minutes and we had like 10 minutes. But it transferred into the scene because I was like fucking mad. And I was like, you know what? Yeah. That worked because I am so pissed right now. And then, like, I think it was an interesting way, though imperfect, for us to talk more about, like, make space for more anger in our relationship on both sides this year. That's one of the things we got a lot better at this year, too. Yeah, so there's, like, the anger part. I don't know if there's any other ones that you noticed. I mean, just...
So there's like the external experience of it, which is like what you're describing of being like, I am now being subject to a lot of heat.
Yes.
But I also wonder if there's things that might be less externally apparent, but just like your own like kind of internal alchemy, like having felt through a role that's very separate, very disjoint from like the rest of your life, then realizing that there's like a better way of having an internal experience there as well in other parts of your life.
Yeah, I would say, like, there was, I was practicing for this. We in our coaching, we pick different monologues from different movies. Mm-hmm. There's this movie called Before Sunrise. I've never seen it up until that point.
Before Licklider? Like the director Licklider?
I forget. I should know these things. But Before Sunrise was like an older movie in 1995. It's with Ethan Hawke in it, and it's like a romantic story. And I've always told her like, hey, I kind of want to be like in roles where I kind of play like a guy with some depth, and like so I can show off my emotional chops and like have a little charm. And like charm is a little bit of like my edge, but I want to grow into that. I think I can do it. So she picked this one. And being able to do monologues of like what this guy is saying to this girl as they develop like a relationship over 24 hours, because that's what the movie is about. It's one night and then it's over. It just brought a little bit more romanticism into my life. Like his quirks kind of come out in how I tease her and banter with her, sometimes without her even knowing, possibly.
Yeah, I don't know this character. I never watched it. I honestly wouldn't know. So
So it's definitely given me more confidence because like I see Jesse, the character, in myself, and like I'm learning through just saying his lines and how he might say it. And it does give me like growth in that way.
That's awesome. Like I don't know. It's really beautiful being able to
like learn through the experience of a character and being like, which parts of this feel like hard for me and why? And like, can I push on that? Can I, again, like teach my body that it's okay to kind of embody that persona?
Yeah.
A totally different thing that I'm curious about that you wrote about recently was the experience of like working through when KDo had romantic partners on set. Because like this is a thing that I've talked with different friends about over time, especially when I was in like a long-term relationship in the past. Was asking like, if your partner like was in this situation, like how would you feel about it? But this isn't hypothetical.
This is real. Very, very fucking real.
Like, dude, this shit was intense, yo.
For people that haven't like, that don't read your newsletter, can you give a little context behind the story, and then I want to hear the story from both of your sides.
Oh, that's a really good. This is a really good story. So context is that KDo started acting classes. We always need, here's the thing. I think KDo would play a really good, deep, emotional character. Like,
we call it the brooding man.
But we call it the brooding man, like literally because he is a brooding man. So I'm just like, dude, it's as natural as it gets, you know?
Look at this face, dude. All the time.
Literally he looks like he's just brooding. By nature.
RBF is brooding, right?
It is. And so then I've always thought this, and you know, I always knew at some point he would be on, you know, on set, like potentially with another woman and like playing like a partner. And like, that's what I always kind of imagined him being in, like pining over somebody's love or like something like that. And so the thing is, it's one thing to imagine that and think like, hey, we should probably talk about like what's okay and what's not okay on set. And you know, in my mind, I was like, yo, we're like a year and a half in. Like I felt like we were gonna have this conversation for like 5 years, you know? But here we are. He decides to do a project. So he's been writing also like his own like scripts as well. And so he was doing a script based on something that he wrote, and it was like about like this character and their partner and like her trust being broken, and it's a very emotionally intimate scene. And so he went to go actually shoot the scene, and then that's the context of the situation. So do you want to take it? I don't know. Do you want to add any details to context so that people know what we're talking about?
Yeah, I mean, this is the first time I've shot on set with another woman, like in a romantic style kind of scene. Like I've been in class and we've shot different scenes or done different scenes, but this is like something very personal. It's like from my life. It's from my heartbreak and like stuff from my past. And like, if you're a couple, you got to make it look real. You know, obviously like Steph and I, like kissing and all that is off boundaries, right? But like, just when I got on set, I was like, okay, like I can hug her. I can like, you know, just, we can hold hands, stuff like that. Sure. To like make it look real and stuff like that. But inside me, I felt like just so wrong. I was like, oh fuck. Like, I feel like I'm cheating, you know, but I was like, I don't think anything of this, you know? So I'll just give that. Well, no, I should probably tell the rest. Like, there's somebody shot the thing. And it was just like intense. Like this girl could cry on command. And I was like, wow. Oh, dude, like what are you pulling from? And since it was like one of my first time shooting, like when you're on set, like one of the things I picked up on, which I'm still trying to figure out if it's true or not, is like, you know, you don't want to blink too much when you're on camera, because if you blink too much, it takes away the trust from the audience. It's distracting. My problem is I have fucking dry eyes, okay? So like, I'm literally like it's so dry, and I'm like, I can't even focus on listening to what she's saying because my eyes are so fucking dry, but I was like, don't blink. Whatever you do, don't fucking blink. And we just went through the scenes, and like, it was really emotional, and everyone was really proud on the set of what was done. And then come home the next day. Yep.
Yeah, so when he came home the first day, he didn't actually tell me anything about it because I kept asking him because I want to know. And I think he was thinking through like how are we gonna kind of have this conversation.
You were also very low bandwidth and time for the day, and I knew this. You would probably not have enough bandwidth to be able to take on this load potentially.
Yeah. So the thing, the experience of logically knowing that like you want your partner to like be able to take on projects and like know that he's in a committed relationship with you, knowing all that, but then he's flipping through his phone and showing photos, and I'm just like, bro.
I felt uncomfortable.
I was like he was uncomfortable. Like we're sitting there, and he's like, yeah, and like look at that. Like we're on set. I'm like, yeah, y'all on set. Y'all really on set.
I was like, ha ha
and
ha.
So yeah, he was like kind of flipping through. I was like, no, go back. Let me go see it again. Yeah. And so I'm looking at it, and I'm like there's a part of me that's just like, oh my God, this man has another woman in his arms, literally. And there's a part of me that's just like, dude, why do I feel like I'm being cheated on? But then like my brain's going like super haywire, but because I'm just like, dude, there's no, like, he doesn't feel anything for this person. Like we're clearly in a committed relationship. But I think it was very confusing, I think, to experience all of that. And I think felt very ashamed because I was like, I want him to be able to celebrate like such a big accomplishment, but then I couldn't get myself to actually like feel that fully because I was experiencing so many other emotions all at the same time. But yeah, I think it was a really good, it ended up being really good conversation, actually. Like it opened up, I mean, it's just life. Like you don't experience it till you experience it. And then you just have to kind of go through it. Yeah. But yeah, it just opened up a lot of conversations around like what it really made me feel. I think it made us stronger, actually. Yeah. And then I think it challenged, I think, the ways that we support and show up for each other. So it's like, what is it that I need like in this moment? And he was like, I'm willing to like not take any of these roles. Like I don't, he was trying to do his part in like meeting me where I was at. But I think for me, it was like, that's not actually it. It's a little bit more nuanced than that. It's not so much that I don't want you to, it's I want you to, but I haven't yet the capacity to actually be with that. So it's like describing like what is next then, right? Like what would be okay. So I'm just like, I think it's okay, honestly, if you do it again. It might take a bit of emotional labor, I think, from me. And are we both okay with that? And so I think he was having also his own thoughts around that. He's just like, is it worth it? Like to have, my partner have to go through some kind of like labor for me to do this thing. Yeah.
I was like, that's just stupid. I'll cut this out. Like, I think I could actually do this well, but I don't want you to take damage just because I have to push through it. Like, I so respect that you support my dreams to that level, but I don't think it's worth it. So I'm going to leave the ball in your court. Right.
Yeah. But I don't really see it as damage. I think I see it very differently. I just see it as like, hey, like this person is just like, I don't know. It's just like I could see him in that role. So it's like, why would I not do the work on my end to like allow that or enable that? So yeah, I guess like personal choices per person. But yeah, hopefully that answered your question.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think that the thing that's really interesting and kind of inspiring to me is just noticing the ways in which like you're both coming at this with a lot of care for the other person. Yeah. And being like, neither of you is... Like there was no game of like ultimatums here. There was no like, there was like a recognition that there was something here for me. It was not like, oh, like there's nothing going on here. Like what's the deal? Like, we set the boundaries. Like there was, even though it sounds like you set explicit boundaries and you both agreed that none of them had been crossed, you're both able to still dive into the emotional experience and like really see each other in that moment.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like part of this is like, the reason that these questions like have emotional salience to me is I've been in dynamics like this in the past where I could tell that my partner like really was an ex. My partner really wanted to push that boundary, and the thing that made it really challenging was recognizing that she was not going to protect me. Like that it was like on me to like she would not cross a boundary. But as soon as I like allowed the boundary to shift, she would hit it immediately and viewed it as entirely my responsibility to like
do the emotional work to be okay with it. And that eventually became like one of the few things that ended up being a deal breaker in that relationship.
Yeah.
And I've struggled with this a little bit because I've had many friends where they similarly didn't really understand like why I would feel such intense jealousy in different circumstances.
Yeah.
Like for instance, like one of the things was I was pretty uncomfortable with the idea of that person having like a dedicated like Latin partner, dance partner over a long span of time. It's like a very intimate thing. It's like both a lot of time and like the physicality of it. And for me, some part of it was really, it wasn't even just about the experience of like me in isolation and then them in isolation. It was also like the experience of having like crowds of people being like, wow, they look at their chemistry together. And then me being on the side being like, ha ha ha, nice, good dance.
Yeah.
So I think that's where seeing the like care you have for each other and seeing it as like this negotiation is helpful to me. Because I think that like it took me a long time to get to the point where I was able to earnestly say like, if that's a thing that's important to you, then like that is a problem for me, and to not feel like guilt around that. That there definitely was like some amount of messaging I got in that relationship that like you're just being possessive and like the like this is not about you. Like I'm doing things with my own body, and I still like deeply care about you, and this is not like a reflection of that. But there was also like no acceptance that her actions, even though they were not things being done to me, like really affected me in a way that, you know, responsibility needs to be taken. So that's like why I wanted to hear more about like how you manage that dynamic.
The acknowledgement.
It's acknowledgement.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I'm also just like really interested to see how this evolves over time. Like, you know, if there are roles that come up that are like so perfect for you, like they like really deeply meet some kind of soul need for you.
Yeah.
But the director's like, there is a kissing scene that is like unextractable from this. It is like it's like
That
if
is
you
so fucking. I would say no.
okay.
But like I feel like Steph and I would sit together and be like, fuck. But it's such a good fit. She has my back so much.
Yeah.
But I feel like this is where like, unless we evolve our standards over time, but like our current standards, which I'm on the same page with, is like, no kissing scenes like that crosses the line. Yeah. Unless if she's in the movie.
Sure.
Yeah.
As the person you're kissing.
Yes. Basically.
Being otherwise in the movie would probably be worse.
Yeah.
That's so funny. You can only be cast as a couple from now on.
Dude.
Yeah. But that was a good question. Like, I mean, how would you handle that? That's how I was saying it.
I think right now I don't have the capacity for that. When I was writing that newsletter, I was like, should I ask KDo to actually see that scene? Because I haven't seen that. I've only seen photos of the thing. And I was like, he's never talked about it. I was like, oh, well, because we had this conversation, that's why. Right. But I have wondered about it. I think
it's not fully edited and done yet. And
that's good to know. I think in the future, possibly, because I just feel like they would be something that would be unlocked. I feel like there would be something that would be fulfilling. Not like kissing the person, but just the if there's a role. You know, but I think there are also plenty of roles that don't require like something like that. So I feel like it could go both ways. But I think you hit it on the nail. I think like for us it's about like the collaborative process of actually talking about it and acknowledging what's occurring for both people. I think that's what like ultimately this is really all about, like outside of the actual like situation.
There's also something about how in your situation, like you're basically, what I'm noticing is that you advocate for maybe not the needs, but like the needs and wants of the other person.
Yeah.
Whereas in your example, it was like very much team Jamie and team
Yeah.
Right. And I was like, you do you, I do me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whereas in this case, like you're like, yeah, like just say the word and I'm out.
Yeah, and there's another layer to this too, right? Which is
Yeah.
like, if I continue to just say the word and I'm out, I could keep putting the onus on her.
That's
Like,
also,
which is also
work in
like
a way.
unfair because it's like, I'm putting all the responsibility on you to make a decision for my future when like I should inherently have a stance on how I want to protect her.
Right.
So like I made it clear to her that like, it's cool for me to stop working with my coach. It's cool for me, like it's going to be hard for me because I'm letting some of my dreams fizzle out, but it's okay. And then it goes back to my existential thing that I have where it's like, why the fuck am I making my life harder?
We're back
It
to
creates
square
all
one.
this drama. I don't want this drama in my life, you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah, stuff
It
like
makes
that.
life interesting.
It definitely makes life interesting, I'll tell you that much.
yeah.
But I think like when I was listening to you like sharing your experience, I think it's like what I felt like it was really hard to hear you like share your experience by the way. But just hearing that there wasn't the acknowledgement of what you're experiencing, I think, and it was also like it was just missing the care piece of it, even though like yes it's about boundaries, but I think it was actually beyond boundaries. There's like some part of like, hey, I want to feel safe and supported by you, not just like, yes, you have your own free will, you know, which sometimes I feel like is not that's not cutting it.
Right.
I think.
Or that's not the point. I mean, it's true.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
It's not the point.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And something interesting is like our vows, like one of our vows to each other is I will love you in a way that makes you feel free to each of us. So when we continue to think about freedom, it's like, what does this do to freedom for the other person? But like, I think because we hold that in such high regard, our conversations and care for each other, like we try to go as far as possible to our limit to allow the other person to have freedom. Yeah.
I also really like the way that you framed it around, you wanted to go like a step beyond just say the word. Because like there was like always these moments of tension in that relationship for me where it would be like, to some extent it was like just say the word, but every time I heard that from her, it was like just say the word, and then like I could kind of see her be like, but please don't. Like she wouldn't literally say that, but that would be like the subtext that.
Right.
And I'm like, I was not projecting. Like I know that was the subtext. So I think it really was like the care aspect of that I was really missing from that. So I think that like holding that care for each other in parallel with really caring deeply about this vow of like loving each other in a way that sets the other person free, allows the other person to live freely. Holding that tension sounds really hard, but it also sounds like having the dual commitment to those is the only way to make it actually sustainable. Which is like, I don't know, I just find it really beautiful.
Thank you.
That's the work, man.
Yeah, that is the word.
100%.
My God, shout out RBTL. I'm not even joking. Like
big
literally,
time.
RBTL is like what
Shit.
has like
Saved
this
our
entire
ass
relationship.
so many times.
So many times, so many conflicts, so many. All of it, just all RBTL.
It's true. We've had this conversation. Like, you know, most people in the world have not done this, yet somehow the relationships work. You're like, how?
That's
I don't understand.
Dude, I ask myself that every day. I ask myself that every day. But I feel like I think relationships can work without RBTL for sure. I just think RBTL makes it easier. Like a 1,000 times easier. Like more peaceful, more easeful, like meaningful. So you can get to the real living, I think, versus like feeling stuck.
Yes. I think I see a lot in my parents' relationship is a lot of just like resentful acceptance. Where they're just like, they've concluded that they've reached an impasse. And then they're just gonna, just like the thorn is permanently stuck. It's not coming out. I'll just continue to live with this thorn in my side for, you know, the rest of my life.
That's wild. Yeah.
So.
I mean, I see that coming up in our relationship, where moments where that could have been the start of that path, where I'd say things like, this is just the way it is, you know, like this. When I hear myself saying that, I'm like, she does not let it slide. She's like, okay, we need to talk about this. And I'm like, fuck, I don't want to. This is just the way it is. I've already done the self-work to accept the way it is, and it will pass. Time will pass, you know? Like, no.
I love that, though.
It never slides with Steph.
Yeah.
It's just great.
Yeah. It's hard, but it's good. It's like a long-term gain.
We'll save that for another day.
Yeah.
No, yeah, exactly. Yeah, I also really like the part where you were attuned to Steph's energy level. You're like, not right now. We'll save this conversation for later.
Yeah.
Also, so sharp.
Yeah.
That'd be strategic.
Yeah.
No, it's true. Yeah, exactly.
Attuned, not strategic. No.
Yeah, attuned.
Yeah.
We talked about that once. It's like, sometimes strategic can come off as like manipulative.
Oh.
Yeah, I've been trying to be mindful of how I use that word. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So one thing you also mentioned when you were describing your acting arc is also like, I guess when you were assembling your puzzle and all the different pieces, I think one of the ones that really stuck out to me was this idea of like you discovering your sense of masculinity over time. And I think like that's something that I personally also contended with, just like coming from, a personality that's very like empathetic based, like very agreeable, very much like caring about other people before myself, which is kind of like very different than like your stereotypical depiction of masculinity, very like hard, very like not emotional, just like get things done, blah, 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 rah, rah, and like, I don't really, that's not my energy at all. Yeah. And so I've kind of been on that journey of like, what does that really mean? And we've talked about this before, and that like, that was one of the main starting points for me to go on my therapy journey, which, ended up being like, this, but the initial intention was like, how do I embody more of this, like not pushover energy, this more like assertive, but still kind of energy, and finding that balance between the two.
Totally.
So I'm curious, like what your journey kind of has been like for that. And
my masculinity journey, or?
Yeah. Like was your starting point kind of a similar place, and then like what kind of work have you done, and maybe even like what does it mean to you essentially?
This could be a whole podcast. I'm gonna try to keep it as concise as possible. My original thoughts of masculinity was like being tough and having it together, being disciplined, getting shit done, being the provider, and being stoic, Non-reactionary, because when you react, you're weak. And especially growing up in a group where like people bullied me, like if you react, then they'll chew on you more.
Right.
And so I think I developed a really complicated complex where it's like my heart wanted to be vulnerable and to connect, because I knew I'd be fucked for life and I wouldn't find the love of my life if I didn't know how to open up my heart. But then there's this other part of me that was like, oh, you're a bitch, So I think I just had to slowly chip away at it, I don't know how to say it. Like I did my therapy, but even before therapy, I read my books. I had my own podcast where I try to share my stories. And then acting in today, like I wrestled with masculinity when I got into acting again, because it's like, oh, I'm an Asian American man. I feel emasculated already before even doing anything, because of the availability of roles. And like I'm in class, and like when I go up there in front of class, it's not just my social anxiety, it's also like the image I feel like is being projected onto me, like of what America thinks of Asian men. So it affects my acting, because if I'm doing like a high status, like power role, it's harder for me to drop into it, because I feel like people are secretly snickering at me in their head, and they're like, oh man, like this shit sucks. Because it's usually like maybe like a white or black dude, like who's carrying those roles in our media. And so I think for me, my masculinity journey around this time around was really like coming back to accept like just being human. Like, what does it mean to be human, to have a heart, to have vulnerabilities? What are my imperfections? Owning those. And I just think of like people in my life who are very sensitive and more quote unquote feminine, who are men, and they just accept themselves. They're just who they are, to my own understanding. And I try to take a page out of that book and be like, why can't I just be like that? You know, just because I respect them. I think it's very brave, whether they're trying to front it to send a message or not, because I feel like my journey has been wanting and craving to send a message, because I want to be that figure for other people to see that it's okay to be well-rounded or be more like feminine or like have a balance of both. So my current definition of masculinity is it's really just being human. Yeah, being human is imperfect. It's ugly. Yeah. So I think I'll leave you with that.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'll give you a little bit more context, and then I have
Sure.
a more specific question. I think like the reason I'm asking specifically is because I think like we've talked about this kind of in the past, and I know that like it's a thing that you think about, which I really already appreciated. And then also I feel like honestly the first time I really like it all really hit me that I was able to observe kind of like all the fruits of like your labors that I know you've been kind of working on was your Jubilee episode. When you did that interview, and then I think
I was
like,
shitting bricks for that episode.
Really?
Yeah.
Wait, in what sense?
I was nervous because my preference is to listen more. I'm not like the kind of guy that goes out and barks, nor does my brain work that way. But I know what these debates are set up to be. It's like people cut each other off. And that was one of the most like aggressive ones ever.
It was, yeah.
And when I was up there, I just felt so like incapable, you know, at times, because I was like, I'm not even contributing, but when I contribute, I'm going to say the things I want to say. But there's an insecurity in myself too, where I was like, fuck, I'm not contributing enough. But I also knew at the same time, I can make myself look really stupid if I just try to jump in for the sake of jumping in.
Yeah.
And that was actually a big lesson on masculinity, if you want to tie it in for me, and how I portray myself is like, it's okay to just speak when you think it's appropriate to speak. And if all these people are just saying dumb shit, like just let them do that. Don't play into the fanfare. Mm-hmm. And that was one of like the chips that like puzzle pieces that clicked for me. Yeah.
That's massive. Yeah. Because I was going to say, I think it was for me watching you show up in that space. And even though I know like it's edited and stuff, like the way that you were showing up, that was the moment where I was like, wow. Like, not that you've like solved the problem, but I was like, I was inspired by that moment. I was like, wow, someone I know has gone on this journey, and I wanted to show up more. I find myself wanting to show up more.
Thanks, man.
The way that you were showing up in the moment. And it was very vindicating that I went into the comment section afterwards and everyone was agreeing. There were so many comments.
I saw that.
There was a little fan club in there.
No, that's what I'm saying. They're like,
people got it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. There's something universal about it. That's why it clicked for me. Like, okay, like there's something that's going right here.
Yeah. That helped me a lot too.
Yeah.
It's the external validation was so important, considering like the stereotypes against Asian men, you know, and like masculinity in general. Yeah,
Exactly.
So I +1 that.
Yeah, and just like you were saying, like we were actually just revisiting the clip yesterday, and everyone else is so combative. Like you were saying, like they were like there was no communication. People were talking,
right?
But it was just like it was like a verbal fist fight. Even though the show was about finding middle ground and having a dialogue between people who have opposing viewpoints. So I think that was also just like the perfect backdrop almost to like highlight the difference. And the fact that people, like thousands of people, like there were several comments, but they all had thousands of likes, like we're noticing. I was like, yes, something is happening here. And I want more of that energy in my life. Because I think for me, it feels very unstable. Right. It's like I'm in that kind of embodying phase still where like in theory, I kind of know. Like it is about like humility and authenticity and just like being genuine and like trusting yourself. That's what I also heard from what you were describing, like picking when to like jump in, when to speak up, when is the right time to speak up. and there's this expectation of I should be speaking up all the time. But then also like that seems like intuitively that seems wrong. Therefore, there must be some sense of judgment in there, and to trust your own judgment to like, okay, these are my thoughts. I'm going to speak up when it feels right, and I'm just going to say my piece and my thoughts and stand by them.
Yeah, I would say, if I were to summarize masculinity for me again in this current moment in time, is courage. It's just like, you just got to be brave. You got to have courage. You got to be willing to just step up. Yeah, that's the practice.
I realized that like for a while ago, like one of my friends just asked me very directly, like, what does masculinity mean to you? And I had never been asked that question before. Like my brain kind of melted on the spot. But one thing that I think that I've been struggling with a little bit is like, I think that two fairly dominant kind of threads of conversation that come up a lot. One of them is toxic masculinity, and the other one is kind of like men embracing feminine parts. And those are both like ideas that I agree with, but they're like, neither of those things point out a thing that is like what healthy masculinity looks like. Because I think the answer to what healthy masculinity looks like can't be just embracing femininity. Because like that implies that there's like, it's not just a replacement,
Right.
clearly. And then the flip side of that is that sometimes I feel discomfort like trying to identify any elements that I would say like this is positive masculinity, because I think it's easy for me to read that as I'm saying women are not that. So for instance, like if I were to say like, oh, like healthy masculinity to me is courage, I immediately like kind of brace for someone being upset with a counter argument of like, oh, so you're saying you don't think women are courageous. And like that's not what I'm saying. That's certainly not what I believe. And the only way that I've gotten to a place that feels a little bit more comfortable is recognizing that I think that like men and women both embrace elements of masculinity and femininity, but even that feels like a little bit dicey. I just like don't really know how to engage in the conversation. And I think for a long time I just like kind of ignored it. But I realized that there are elements that intuitively feel like masculine elements to me. Some of the things you're talking about being like less of a pushover, like being more assertive, that intuitively feel masculine to me, that I want to embrace more in myself. But it's like, I don't know, I feel weird about having the dialogue at all because some part of me is like, this just shouldn't be a gendered conversation. But I think that many people that are on the perspective of this shouldn't be a gendered conversation would also agree with the statement, men should embrace femininity more. And those like perspectives are not compatible. So I just get confused and kind of lost in the discussion. So that's like kind of why like Kevin's more pointed question of like, what does healthy masculinity mean to you is like really interesting framing of the question. And I'm actually curious for both of your takes on this.
I'll say one more bit real quick, which is like what you were just saying made me think of like understanding there's so many intersections, right? There's power privilege, like privileges across men and women, and understanding those privileges and being informed of that can help level the playing field for healthy masculinity. So I think healthy masculinity is actually also level the playing field. Because inherently being a man, like I do have privileges and power in certain situations that I could exploit just by nature of being a man. So I think if I were to answer from that angle, I think it is, level the playing field when I know I can. In a relationship, how we do duties, how we talk, who takes up more space. Stuff like that.
I just feel like this is just beyond like I think the fact that there's femininity and masculinity in general is the thing I have an issue with.
Gotcha. Okay.
I just feel like it's just being freaking human. It's just constructs that we have because of like what we're socialized into that like make it a thing. Right? I hate that it's a thing. But like I feel like I feel personally that I'm more masculine, like in the sense that I'm I'm executing on things like all the freaking time. And there's more of that kind of like energy. And I've told KDo this before. It's like so interesting because I feel like I'm not feminine enough, but like, what does that even really mean? Right. And so I think at the end of the day, it's like I've kind of moved away almost from that because I feel like trying to answer that question, I think is the trap. Like it's like, no, it's actually like, how do you own just more of just who you are, regardless of whether it's masculine or feminine, right? It's just, how do you accept all of who you are? Because the masculine, feminine almost feels like it's a judgment sometimes from other people that then causes some kind of internal reaction, right? And that then, you know, probably causes some action that then we take. But I think ultimately it's just like, how do you just accept yourself for all the pieces of you, that who you are, and how do you become more human? And I think it's less about this like binary sort of thinking. Yeah, so that's kind of my stance. I don't think that really answers the question. But I think it does. That's like how I feel about it.
Like I think that is like to me that's like a very coherent way of thinking about it and being like, even if there are like general strong social associations between traits and gender binary, that sometimes the internal like struggle and self-judgment comes from that mapping, and you can just reject the mapping and being like I think the thing that like comes to mind for me, that people are saying that like I want to embrace more of my feminine side, it might be helpful to be like, what does that mean? Being like, you can just directly say like, I want to embrace more emotional attunement without trying to lump it together with all this other stuff.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. I'm on that page.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well.
Yeah.
The precision helps.
Yeah.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah. I think we lose if we're trying to answer the question of like.
Yeah. That's why I was
what
like,
does that
it just
mean?
means to be human, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I have a hard time like trying to, because it puts me in a box. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's interesting because if you talk to a chunk of society that is still thinking about it in the binary, how do you message it in that way? You have to reject that norm and then, talk about how we were just talking about it.
Right.
Yeah.
So maybe a more interesting framing of it then is then like specifically around the like coming from a more like emotional and like agreeable base. And in the pursuit of finding that balance as like a whole human, like I look at the opposite end of the spectrum, right? The people who are more disagreeable, who are like willing to be more like forceful advocates for themselves, and people who like, you know, there are also moments where it like benefits you not to be like fully like in your emotions. Like for example, when you're like, you know, emotionally low bandwidth kind of thing.
Yeah.
I'm curious then, like, if that's been part of your journey and how that's been for you, because then like that's where I sit right now. I sit pretty heavily on the agreeable side.
Yeah.
And I look at the disagreeable side. Like I would like more of that sometimes, so that I can stand up for myself.
My journey towards moving to the other side of the spectrum.
Well, yeah, two questions. One is like, do you feel like I feel like as a base, we're probably starting from a similar-ish side of the spectrum.
Yeah.
So I'm curious if that's also something that you've worked on before.
I have, yeah. Imperfectly, by just picking up archetypes of thinking who I needed to be. Like
in the moment.
Being stoic or being like a douchebag or being like super self-disciplined, like 75 hard. I'll go fucking hustle, no sleep, shit like that. It gave me traits that I can use more healthily today if I remove the whole construct. So like I think labels or identities can make things complicated. If I remove the identities, like I've worked on this stuff because it's like survival. So I looked at it as survival because I felt like I needed these skills to be able to protect myself or to make myself myself as a more attractive partner, you know, like to be able to stand up if someone talks shit at me or talks shit at her, or like if I'm going to be a pushover and people walk all over me, like, is anyone going to respect me? Is she going to respect me? And so like I had to learn how to do these things and then figure out along the way how to discern like, okay, what's healthy and what's not healthy to hold on to. Because if I grip onto like a 75 hard mentality and like, this is the way, that's dangerous. Yeah.
Definitely would not be. Yeah. We would not be together.
Yeah, but like it's kind of like a tinge of that motivation, right? Or that discipline is like it shows up in a different way in terms of how I go after goals and stuff like that. So that's how I've worked on it. Yeah.
So like I guess like the identities are helpful in like a way that like you can identify like a big group of traits essentially. And
yeah.
Like you try to embody that like the 75 hard and
yeah. Or you put yourself, I put myself into situations that forced me to develop those traits, like joining a sport, you know, in college and just having to commit and be around like a much more like gruff environment. And I took the best parts of it and, you know, left all the other stuff that was like really demoralizing.
Right. I think that's the key. Like the archetypes, the identities are helpful as like, because they're things you can point at and be like, I'm going to try being that. But then you also know that like not all parts of the identity are healthy.
Yeah.
So once you get there, you can kind of embody it, but then pick and choose what you ultimately take away from it.
Yeah. And one of the hardest parts about it for me actually was like the decoupling from the identity part, because it's like my value in society that I played up in my mind is like, okay, I think women or like other, even men, like people who view me as friends are going to view my value based on the things I'm involved in, like my status, right? And like a baseline of respect is going to be established based on the things I'm associated with. That's how I used to operate. And so like I wanted to move away from that, like just because it's a very fragile way to build. It's fake. It feels fake to me. It still feels like I'm protecting myself and it doesn't feel authentic because it's very vulnerable to just be like, hey, like I just want to be loved and I'm just trying to do things here. But like, I don't want to flex any of those identities to like try to get the acknowledgement of other people. So that was my journey. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, I feel that. It's almost like the status is like, if you reach for status, it's still like by proxy.
Yeah.
And it's not like innate. And really, you just want to be able to innately feel secure, worthy, and then just express that in the world.
Yeah.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I think what's coming to mind for me as you're talking about like going to like gruff environments and grabbing elements. I had this like insight a while ago that almost all kinds of development are not about switching into a new mode of being. It's all about collecting new tools and developing the discernment for when they're appropriate. So like I think that, for instance, I have definitely both been in spaces where people are like, 75 hard is the way. Right. And I think I've also been in environments where people are like, people who are like trying to get fitter is like stupid, they're like meatheads.
Yeah.
And I think that both of those perspectives are wrong. I think it really is like there are earnestly valuable things in the 75 hard mindset. I think the mistake is thinking that like any one of those things is like the way.
Yeah.
I think similarly, like operating in the world as someone that is like walking around always being an empath, always providing for other people, always prioritizing other people above themselves. They are also lacking like useful skills. So like that's like I think the place that I'm trying to get more to is recognizing that there are elements that like traditionally get associated in society with masculinity that like I actually do value, but the goal is not like reject other elements of myself that don't fit into that mold. It's like see the gold there, go mine the gold, and then bring it back, and then leave behind the craft I don't like. Yeah. And also refuse to reject the parts that are already part of myself.
It's the identity part that makes things like complicated. If you drop identity and dissolve identities and just have the traits, like you're winning. Yeah. At least to me, but that's the hardest part for me about life, which is like identities is how most of the world like operate, right? Yeah. Like that's how they market to us so freaking well.
Yeah.
And so like to what you were just saying here about like being versus like being able to pull out the tools, a part of me wonders if like being is part of the process. I got to be in this process and absorb this identity almost a little bit, and then like kind of decouple from it, because identity is so motivating.
Yeah.
I am this. It is a core necessity, you know?
Yeah.
And so like, it's just like, when do I pull out, or when do I have to take the moment to transform it? Yeah. It's almost like a double-edged sword.
Keeping your identity small seems especially hard showing up to castings where it's literally like,
it's
you
all
need
about
an Asian male in their 30s, like speaking, you know, like, it's like literally there is a list of identities, and you'd be like, hello, do you fit into this box?
I'm looking at it every day.
Yeah, literally.
Great. Yeah. So that's why I find it all so fascinating. It's like I'm constantly being tested all the time.
Yeah.
That's why it's spiritual for me. Yeah.
Yeah, I can also see why you were like, it's like fellowship on steroids. It's like the ultimate playground. You know, you show up and you're like, which it's like you pick a card. Oh, this is my persona today. Or, this is their worldview. These are their emotions. This is how they react. I'm going to try and become that.
Yeah.
Yeah. You try a new thing every time. Maybe I should go into acting school. Good time to wrap up.
Yes.
Yeah.
How do you guys wrap?
We do two things. It's like a modified checkout. So one is like, it's kind of, it's the emotion, it's the heart and the mind. We do predominant emotion and magnitude, classic temp check. And then also like, what are you taking away from the conversation is how we do checkout. So I can go first, but I'm thinking. I feel wiser than I was before this conversation. Yeah, which is, it's nourishing. I feel nourished. Like my soul feels nourished from this conversation, which is like, health gains. It's like a deeper sense of appreciation.
Got this nutritious.
Plus 10.
I feel healthy. Is kind of what it is. And definitely like I'm pushing 9, 10 out of 10. I think extroversion. Connection. Oh, it's so good.
Let me get some more of that.
Yeah, no, literally. I'd say the feeling is kind of elation, and then just what am I taking away? Like just knowledge, so many gems from today, which I'm deeply appreciative of. I think like the last conversation around balancing and just being a whole person and taking traits and then just finding truly that middle ground of both extremes of most things, and like you'll probably be a better person for it. It's too much to recount, but that was the latest teaching. Also just watching you guys like flow through RBTL skills in real time is great. It's a meta observation. You want to go next?
Sure. Yeah, I mean, the words that come to mind for me are like vindicated and seen. Like thinking through that past relationship dynamic. And I think also just like kind of like in community, thinking about pulling apart these like traits and then trying to figure out how to decouple that from identity. That's been a thing that's been on my mind in different capacities. Like I've been kind of stripping away my identities over the last couple of years, and it's been a really weird process. So it's always nice to, it's always connecting to hear parallel journeys and being like, whoa, same. So I'm also like, I'm at like a 9 or a 10, but like not in a jittery way. I'm just like, this was great. Just good in an uncomplicated, like grounded way.
I feel very basic, but I feel very grateful.
Man, me too.
Yeah.
That's my word. You know, it's like 2 peas in a pod.
2 peas in a pod.
Are you married or something?
Yeah, I feel very grateful. Oh my God, babe.
Come on.
By our powers combined.
Close the fist. Supercharge.
This is my husband.
Supercharge gratitude.
I feel really grateful. I don't know. My takeaway, I think I have two. One, I gotta have a lot more fun.
Yeah.
I honestly, I was just like, when was the last time I seriously did something without having some kind of outcome, trying to have some kind of outcome. I think that's the first one. I think the second one, I don't know if it's a takeaway. I think just being able to have this conversation, I just had so many flashbacks to when we first met, when this first started as a project. And I think I just feel overwhelmed with, I don't want to say pride. I don't want to say proud. I think we've had this conversation before. I don't like saying that, but there's something to that. I'm just damn, for us to all have this conversation, the depth of the conversation, just exploring all the nooks and crannies and being able to explore nuance with you guys was actually really, really special to me. And I think it takes to arrive and to explore these different parts requires that each one of us in this conversation has done some level of work, personal work, interpersonal work. And so that was just really cool, I think, as an experience. I need more of these conversations. So gotta get another dose of this,
Yeah, honestly.
Yeah.
Stephanie solo episode coming soon. I said it. I am feeling grateful. I just feel very appreciative that you guys gave me the opportunity to share my journey and to dig into it, feel seen for it, and go into the more masculinity and all these different components of it. That was very special. And takeaways are, I have a better way to talk about masculinity now based on what we just talked about. It was every single time I talk about it, depending on who I talk about it with, or if I'm just talking about it with myself, it gets refined in a certain way. And walking out of today's conversation, I have a stronger stance on it's about being human. It's about removing the identity associated with it, that binary, and just focusing on just being whole. Yeah. And other takeaway is this podcast is really fucking cool, man. It's great. So thank you for having us.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Yeah, thanks for coming. It's been an absolute pleasure. Yeah, very excited for what's to come. As Steph learns to have more fun, as KDo becomes an actor minus the identity.
Minus the identity.
I don't know what to call it. One that acts.
Yeah, one that acts. My name won't even be KDo next time.
Yeah.
Hello, I am.
I just am.
I just am.
I love that.
Oh, God.
That's awesome. Well, to you at home or wherever you are listening and watching, we also appreciate you. Thanks for hanging out with us again, and we'll see you next time.
See you.
Like and subscribe down below.
And that's a wrap on Vulnerability Junkies Season 3.
We really hope you enjoyed watching and listening to this as much as we enjoyed making it.
If you have any thoughts or feedback for us, please leave it in the comment section below. There's also Google form links in every episode description.
We read every comment and every bit of feedback, and we really do think about it when we're figuring out what to do next.
It really helps us improve the show. So thank you for listening, hang out with us, and we'll see you next time.